Every morning at 7:30, the narrow street in front of Maplewood Elementary filled with honking cars, laughing children, and the smell of fresh waffles from the corner cafe. But amidst the chaos stood one quiet figure, a golden retriever named Sunny. He was easy to recognize. Shiny fur like sunlight, tail wagging like a flag, and a blue collar with a tag that read, "If lost, call the heart of the Parker family." Sunny belonged to Eli Parker, an 8-year-old boy with messy hair, round glasses, and a backpack almost bigger than himself. Every morning, they walked together to school. Eli would hold Sunny's leash proudly, like a knight walking beside his lion. And just before the big red gate, he would stop, crouch down, and whisper the same words. "I'll be back when the bell rings, okay?" And Sunny would tilt his head, bark once as if to say, "I'll be right here." What made everyone smile was how seriously Sunny took that promise. The moment Eli walked into the building, Sunny would trot over to the oak tree near the gate, sit down, and wait. Not for a minute, not for an hour, but until that final bell at 3 p.m. The teachers noticed, the guards noticed, even the kids started greeting him every morning. "Good boy, Sunny," they'd call, tossing him bits of sandwich or patting his head. He never left his spot, not even when it rained. One afternoon, Mrs. Hill, the math teacher, brought him an umbrella and tied it above him. "Can't let our most loyal student get wet," she said, laughing softly. Eli would come running out at the end of the day, backpack swinging wildly. The moment he appeared, Sunny would leap to his feet, tail spinning like a helicopter. They'd walk home together through the autumn leaves, sharing the kind of silence that only best friends can understand. But one Friday morning in late November, the sky looked strange. Clouds hung low, heavy with snow. Eli's mother zipped his coat tight and said, "School might close early today. Sweetheart, promise you'll stay inside if it gets bad." Eli nodded. "Sunny will be waiting. I'll come right back." At the gate, he bent down again, holding Sunny's face between his mittens. "Don't worry, boy, I'll be quick today." Sunny barked softly, licking Eli's nose. Then Eli ran inside. Hours passed. The wind picked up. By noon, snow began to fall thick and fast. The principal announced an early dismissal, but panic soon followed. Parents rushed to pick up their kids as the storm worsened. Eli's mother tried calling the school, but the phone lines were down. The roads were freezing. Meanwhile, at the gate, Sunny waited. His golden fur turned white with snowflakes. He shivered, then shook himself off and sat again. His paw prints were the only ones visible in the swirling white. The teachers, who left early, tried to call him, tried to coax him into warmth. But Sunny wouldn't budge. He had made a promise. When the final bell rang, the gates opened to silence. Most of the kids were already gone, picked up early by worried parents. But not Eli. He hadn't come out yet. Minutes turned into an hour. The wind howled. Sunny winced softly and paced near the gate. By the time a car finally arrived, it was Eli's mother, pale, frantic. She jumped out, shouting over the snowstorm, "Sunny, where's Eli?" Sunny barked, then sprinted down the path toward the school's backfield. Mrs. Parker followed, slipping on the ice. Behind the gym, near the old slide, they found him, Eli, huddled under the metal tunnel. Scared but safe, his coat dusted with snow. He had gone out to play before the storm worsened and couldn't find his way back to the gate. But Sunny had, somehow, the dog had tracked his scent through the blizzard. When Eli saw him, he burst into tears. "You came for me." Sunny barked once, tail wagging furiously, and pushed his warm body against the boy, as if saying, "Told you I'd be here." Mrs. Parker hugged them both, tears freezing on her cheeks. "You're both my heroes," she whispered. That night, the story spread across Maplewood like wildfire. Someone had taken a photo, Sunny standing guard beside Eli in the snow, eyes gentle but fierce. By morning, it was everywhere. Golden Retriever waits all day in blizzard to protect his best friend. News reporters called. The school announced a special assembly to honor Sunny as Maplewood's bravest student. But none of that mattered to Sunny. The next morning, as soon as breakfast was done, he trotted to the school gate again. Same spot, same oak tree, same promise. Because for him, love wasn't a headline. It was a habit. 2 years passed since the snowstorm that made Sunny a local hero. The photo of him sitting guard over Eli still hung in the school hallway, right beside the trophy case, under the title, "The Guardian of Maplewood." But Sunny didn't care about fame. Every morning was still the same. 7:30 sharp, paws tapping down the road, tail wagging, waiting under the oak tree. Only now, Eli was a little taller. His voice had changed slightly, his backpack heavier, and his world a bit bigger. "Bye, Sunny," he'd shout, no longer stopping for long hugs. Sunny still wagged his tail, eyes following him until the door closed. Then he'd sit and wait. The seasons rolled by, spring blossoms, summer heat, autumn leaves, and winter frost. Sunny's muzzle began to gray. His energy wasn't the same, but his loyalty never faded. He still waited by the gate, sometimes lying down, resting his chin on his paws, watching the kids come and go. Teachers and parents loved him. The janitor, Mr. Ralph, always left a bowl of water and some treats nearby. "Still here, old boy," he'd say every afternoon, scratching behind Sonny's ears. Sonny would close his eyes in contentment, tail thumping softly. But one day, Eli didn't come to school. Mrs. Parker had rushed Sonny's leash to the door. But Eli just sat there, pale and coughing. "The doctor says it's just the flu," his mother said, stroking his forehead. "But Sonny will miss me," Eli murmured weakly. Sonny whined, pawing at Eli's blanket. That day, Sonny refused to eat. He lay near the door, staring at Eli's backpack, the one that usually jingled when they walked. By afternoon, he got up, went to the door, and barked softly. "Sonny, no," Mrs. Parker said, but he nudged the latch with his nose. He wanted to go. He needed to go. Eventually, Mrs. Parker sighed. "Fine, but come straight back." Sonny ran all the way to Maplewood Elementary, heart pounding, tail flying behind him. He reached the gate, panting, and sat down under the oak tree. He waited, even though there was no school that day. Even though Eli wasn't coming. It rained. He stayed. The next morning, Mrs. Parker found him sleeping by the doorstep, fur damp, paws muddy, but eyes peaceful. He had kept his promise. Months passed, and Eli got better. He hugged Sonny so tight that morning, the dog squealed. "You're the best boy ever," Eli whispered. Sonny barked once, that same faithful bark that said "I told you I'd wait." But time, as always, keeps moving. Eli grew older, busier. Homework, football, video games, life started to fill with other things. Sometimes, he'd forget to pat Sonny goodbye. Sometimes, he'd just wave from the porch. Sonny still followed him to the gate. Every single day. Even when the leash grew heavy in Mrs. Parker's hand, even when his legs trembled on cold mornings. Then came that one autumn day, the kind that paints the world gold. Eli was now 13. He wore headphones, a hoodie, and that teenage look that said "I'm too old for school drop-offs." He looked back once. Sonny was there, as always. "Go home, boy," Eli said, half smiling. Sonny tilted his head, confused. Eli sighed. "I'm serious. You don't have to wait anymore." He waved, then disappeared through the gate. Sonny sat for a long time that day. When the bell rang, he perked up, expecting Eli to come running, like always. But Eli walked out with friends, laughing, distracted. He didn't notice Sonny at first. When he finally did, he paused, looked at the dog, and said, "Sonny, go home. I'm walking with them today." Sonny froze. The other kids laughed softly. "Your dog's obsessed with you," one said. Eli blushed. "Yeah, he just likes waiting." He turned and walked away. Sonny took one step forward, then stopped. He watched Eli disappear down the street. Then slowly, he turned and walked home alone. That night, he didn't eat much. He curled up by the door, where Eli's shoes were. Mrs. Parker noticed. "He'll be fine, sweetheart. He's just tired." But Sonny wasn't tired. He was confused. For years, waiting had been his purpose, his joy, his routine. Without it, something inside him felt quiet and heavy. Winter came again. Snow dusted the oak tree, the same one Sonny had guarded so long ago. His fur was whiter now, his steps slower. He didn't make the walk every morning anymore, just some days, when he felt strong enough. Eli was in middle school now, riding the bus. He'd pat Sonny's head on his way out. "See you later, old buddy." But Sonny no longer followed him to the gate. Not because he didn't want to, but because his legs trembled after a few steps. So he watched from the window. Every day. Waiting still, in his own way. Then one morning, Mrs. Parker woke up to find Sonny lying peacefully near the front door. The sunlight gently warming his fur. His chest rose once, then stilled. A small smile seemed to rest on his muzzle, as if he was dreaming of a little boy and a red school gate. When Eli came downstairs and saw him, the world went silent. He fell to his knees, tears spilling freely. "I'm sorry, Sonny. I'm so sorry I told you to stop waiting." Mrs. Parker hugged him, both crying into Sonny's fur. Later that day, they buried him under the oak tree by the school gate, his favorite place in the whole world. Eli placed Sonny's collar on a small wooden cross. Then he whispered, "Wait for me, just one last time, okay?" And from that day on, every morning before school, Eli stopped at that tree. He'd rest his hand on the bark and smile. Because somewhere, in the warmth of memory and love, Sonny was still waiting. Years rolled by like pages in an old weathered book. Maplewood changed. The school got new paint, new classrooms, and a digital signboard that read "Home of the Eagles." But the old oak tree still stood tall, its roots wrapped deep into the same soil where Sonny had once waited. Eli Parker was no longer the boy with a backpack and messy hair. He was 23 now, taller, quieter, and carrying the kind of calm only time can carve. He hadn't been back to Maplewood in years. Life had taken him far, college, a job in the city, late nights and deadlines. But one gray morning, something in his heart tugged him home. Maybe it was the dream. In it, he had seen Sonny again, sitting by the gate, tail wagging gently, eyes full of love. No words, just that look. The same look that said, "I've been waiting." The drive back to Maplewood was long and silent. Rain streaked the windshield. The town appeared in glimpses: familiar streets, old shops, the bakery that still had the same faded sign, Baker's Delight since 1979. Eli parked by the school gate and stepped out. The air smelled like wet grass and nostalgia. The oak tree stood there, bigger, older, but still strong. He walked closer, hand brushing against the rough bark. At the base of the tree was a small, weathered wooden cross, the one he had made all those years ago. Sonny's name had faded, but you could still make it out. Sonny, the best boy. Eli knelt down, brushing away the leaves. His throat tightened. "Hey, old buddy," he whispered. "It's been a while." A breeze rustled the branches, and for a moment it felt like the tree sighed, like it remembered too. He sat there for a long time, lost in memory. He remembered the day Sonny first followed him home, a skinny golden stray with hopeful eyes. He remembered snow days, muddy walks, and how Sonny would never take the first bite of food until Eli did. He remembered laughter, comfort, and the way Sonny always understood, even when words failed. And he remembered the guilt. The day he told Sonny to stop waiting. The day he walked away without looking back. Tears burned his eyes. "I didn't mean it," he said softly. "I was just a stupid kid. You deserved better." He took a deep breath, looking up at the clouds. "If you're somewhere out there, I hope you know I never forgot you." Just then, a small voice broke the quiet. "Hi, mister, are you visiting Sonny too?" Eli turned. A little girl stood there, maybe 8 years old, holding a small notebook and wearing a red school jacket. "Sonny," Eli asked, surprised. You know about him?" The girl nodded eagerly. "Everyone does. He's famous here. The teachers tell us the story every year about the dog who waited for his boy, even in the snow." Eli smiled faintly. "Yeah, that was my dog." Her eyes widened. "You're Eli." He nodded. The girl grinned. "Wow, my teacher says Sonny's the reason our school has the Kindness Award. She says he taught everyone what real love looks like." Eli's chest ached, that good kind of ache that comes from love and loss mixing together. He swallowed hard. "That sounds like him." The girl knelt beside him and placed a small flower by the wooden cross. "My mom says, when someone you love goes away, they come back as something that makes you smile." Eli looked at her, his eyes glistening. "That's a beautiful thought." She giggled. "I think Sonny came back as our school's friendly cat. He always sits by the gate, just like Sonny used to." Eli chuckled softly. "Maybe he did." They both sat in silence for a moment, the wind whispering through the leaves. Then the girl stood. "By Mr. Eli, I have to go to class. I'll tell Sonny you said hi." He smiled. "Do that." She waved and ran toward the school, her laughter echoing in the crisp air. Eli stayed for a while longer, then reached into his coat pocket. He pulled out an old, scratched dog tag. Sonny's. He had kept it all these years, carrying it through every move, every heartbreak, every milestone. He hung it gently on a low branch of the oak tree. It jingled faintly in the wind, a soft, familiar sound. "Guess you're still teaching people how to love, huh?" he said quietly. "Even now." For a moment, the clouds parted, and a single beam of sunlight touched the cross. Eli closed his eyes, and in that golden warmth, he could almost feel a wet nose nudge his hand, and a tail thumping softly against the ground. That evening, before leaving town, Eli stopped by the animal shelter. He wasn't sure why. Maybe it was instinct, or maybe Sonny's spirit still whispered in his heart. The shelter was quiet. A few dogs barked softly from their kennels. Then, in the last row, a golden puppy sat alone, thin, shivering, but with eyes that felt familiar. Eli knelt. "Hey there, buddy." The puppy tilted his head, then licked Eli's fingers through the bars. And just like that, something inside Eli clicked. He smiled. "You waiting for someone too?" The puppy wagged his tail. "Once." Eli laughed softly, tears glinting in his eyes. "Come on then, let's go home." As he walked out of the shelter, the puppy nestled in his arms. The sun dipped low behind the trees, casting golden light on the world. They passed by Maplewood Elementary one last time. Eli slowed down near the oak tree, where the wind played softly with the leaves. He whispered, "Thank you, Sonny, for waiting, for teaching me how to love and how to start again." The puppy barked once, high and happy. And somewhere in that sound, in that moment, Eli could almost hear another bark echoing back, older, wiser, and full of joy.